Konnichiwa. It is now time to start the third session of our event, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the moderator of the Workforce Development Panel Discussion, Professor of Communication in Asian Studies, and Chair of SALPO, Dr. May Gao.
Thank you, Adrian. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 JaGa Futures Forum panel on workforce development. Again, my name is May Gao. May is like the month of May. Gao in Japanese language means Tagai. I am the founder of KSU's Asian Studies Program and SALPO Conference. Asian Studies Program was inaugurated in January of 2008. From there, we created all the Asia prefix courses, Asian Studies minor, Asian Studies major, teaching English as a foreign language in Asia certificate, BA and MBA double L pathway. I hope you take advantage of all of these opportunities we offer at Kennesaw State University. I'm also the founder and chair of SALPO Conference, which stands for Symposium on Asia-USA Partnership Opportunities, the largest Asia business conference in the United States, organized by KSU's Asian Studies program. So any of the students here, if you want to participate in SALPO, you are automatically in as a volunteer, okay? This year's conference will be in Tokyo, Japan on May 16th, 2025 at the Royal Park Hotel in Tokyo, Shiodome. And I know those students who are traveling with Dr. Doc Moody will be joining us at SALPO Conference. And I've been at KSU for over 20 years. My mission here is to help our students. So it really makes me happy and excited to see our students become successful. And one of the panelists in panel number 1, Miss Anna Barnes. I'm so proud of her. She was the first student ever. Stand up, please, Anna Barnes. Yeah. She is our success story, one of the many success stories we have. Anna Barnes was hanging out with me and some other professors as we were creating the BA in Asian Studies. And she was one of the first 3 students declared Asian Studies major. And then we sent her to Soka University. She studied for 1 whole year there. And then she came back. She was the first KSU student graduated with a BA in Asian Studies. And then she went back to Japan and worked and lived there for 5 years. Now she works for Hitachi, a Japanese company here in Metro Atlanta. Thank you, Anna. Anna is one of the outstanding students here. We have KSU, and as you can see, we have many other students. They're very smart, hardworking, and they're very respectful. So I hope Japanese students here would hire our students as interns and employees. They will work hard for you. They love the Japanese language and culture, and they appreciate Japanese supervisors. So here at KSU, we work hard to educate our students. And sometimes people ask, why is it that we need to look at liberal art education? A comprehensive liberal art education is important for the development of well-rounded individuals capable of thriving in a complex, dynamic world. We educate our students by combining theory with practice and train our students with critical thinking and analytical skills, effective communication skills, adaptability and life learning skills, civic engagement and ethical reasoning skills, interdisciplinary perspective, and creativity and innovation, as well as intercultural communication skills. In essence, liberal arts education equips individuals not just for a job, but for a meaningful life and career marked by adaptability, ethical leadership, and the capacity to navigate an interconnected global world. So most of our students here are born after 1996, and many born after 2000. These are Gen Z students, including undergraduate and graduate students. So majority of our students are born after I came to KSU. It sounds interesting, right? So Gen Z students, their interest in managerial roles are nuanced, shaped by their values and evolving workplace dynamics. Gen Zs grew up as digital natives. They experienced the pandemic years during high schools and college. They value work-life harmony, and they prioritize meaningful work, and they prefer supervisors being coaches instead of managers. Although they might like hybrid or remote working, they also appreciate advice and feedback from supervisors. So we need to talk about how can we help our Gen Z students become successful in the global workplace. And today we have 4 distinguished and knowledgeable leaders from the industry and business. They are Mr. Yoshi Domoto, Executive Director, Japan America Society of Georgia, the lead organizer of today's event. Yoshi Domoto-san and I have been working together for over 15 years. And when I had the idea about a softball conference, I went to Yoshi. I said, what do you think about it? He said, yes, I'll be there, and I'll be there among the attendees. So he gave me confidence about the conference when I was thinking about the conference. Ms. Sachiko Chico Ueno-san, HR Director, Nisei ASB Company. Ms. Ueno-san is a KSU alumni. She got her MBA from Coast College of Business. And both Yoshi Domoto-san and Ueno-san have been supervisors for my Asian Studies intern students. Next, we have the esteemed Mr. Alex Gregory, former president and CEO of YKK Corporation of America. Mr. Alex Gregory is my personal role model. Whenever I think of what should I do, I think about what would Alex Gregory do. So he is just so perfect. And after he retired, I often invite him to come and speak in my class to my undergraduate and graduate students. He always comes, even in the heavy rain, and even in traffic accident, he always comes. He's just so perfect. Mr. Scott McMurray, Deputy Commissioner, Georgia Quick Start. And he's also quick smart. I'm saying that because Scott is very well known in the community for being smart and extremely knowledgeable. So we have a great panel, and we will ask each of the panelists to talk about what do they see as how students can become more successful in the global marketplace, and how professors at Kennesaw State University can do more to help our students to become successful in the global marketplace. And they will each speak from their perspective at their organizations and companies and from their lifelong experience. Thank you so much for being here. And and each of you have a microphone here, and we will start with Mr. Alex Gregory.
Did you want us to sort of self-introduce?
Yes, please introduce yourself. And we have a total of 60 minutes, but not for each one introduction.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex Gregory. I'm currently unemployed. Pleasure to be here. I have been a fan of Dr. Gao May for many years. She makes things happen, students. I just observed her. One time I saw her and we were talking about Salpo, and she said, I'm thinking about having a Salpo in Shanghai. pursue that. I saw her a few weeks later, and I said, how's your thinking going about the conference in Shanghai? She said, no, I already had it. So in a matter of weeks, she put it together and pulled it off, so she's a real hero. Pleasure to be here. In 1973, I was leaving the Navy, looking for a job as a textile engineer, and I heard there was a Japanese company looking for a textile engineer. It would be Georgia's first Japanese company, and they were going to open a factory in 1974. And so I interviewed with them in June of 1973, and I guess you could say the rest is history. We're indebted to then Governor Carter, President Carter, who passed away recently, for all he did for relations with Japan. But the company has continued to grow. We're not as big as some. Patrick, I think you're much bigger than we are now. But we still have about 1,500 employees in Georgia, about 3,000 in the region. We have about 3 million square feet of manufacturing in Macon and another 1 million square feet down in Dublin. And we have 3 companies that are headquartered in the Atlanta area. 2 of my colleagues are here, Ray and I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Michael, I'm sorry, is Michael here? Okay, all right. Anyway, pleasure to be here. I look forward to our discussion. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Scott McMurray. A quick autobiography from me because students may find it interesting. I'm from a small town outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I came down to Emory University for school, and I was able to get a master's degree in English literature and a bachelor's degree in economics from there. And then I joined the JET program upon graduation. I don't know if you know that. About that program, Japan Exchange in Teaching. So I went over. I was a public high school English teacher for 3 years there in extreme southern Japan. It was a wonderful experience. Then I joined a college, taught there for a few years, and then by then I had learned the Japanese language as far as kind of the daily communication, but I wanted to study more. So while I was a college teacher in the morning, I took Japanese language classes at a Japanese language school that was attached to the university. I got an associate's degree in the Japanese language from that school, and then I joined a Japanese company in southern Kyushu. So I learned about business the Japanese way. It was a phenomenal experience for me. I traveled the world with my colleagues. Then returned to the United States in Los Angeles and was there from 1996 until 2004. Wanted to make our way back to Atlanta. Came here without any job, kind of sold up the condo in LA and moved back to Atlanta. One of the main reasons was because there are so many Japanese companies here in Georgia. I felt I had a good chance using my Japanese language skills to get a job with a Japanese company. That's what I wanted to do. But before I was hired by a Japanese company, my resume went to the Georgia Department of Economic Development. That is the main sales and marketing arm for the state of Georgia, in charge of recruiting companies from all over the world and, of course, within the United States to come to Georgia, make investments, create jobs for our citizens here. They were looking for a Japanese-speaking American who had business experience. So it was just very fortuitous. I was able to get that position. That was in 2005. I moved in 2022 after being there for many, many years to my current position as Deputy Commissioner of Georgia Quick Start. Georgia Quick Start is the state's workforce training incentive. We train workers in the manufacturing industries who have jobs at these companies, and we do that at no cost to the company, again, as an incentive to help Georgia citizens acquire better skills, better paying jobs, better lives for themselves and their families. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chico. I graduated from the Kennesaw State 25 years ago, so everything looks different. But yeah, I was originally from Japan, Kyoto, Japan. Born there, raised there. Age 22, I came to the States, straight to Kennesaw to study the grad school in business. I didn't know anybody here. I didn't have any family, friends here. I just got I got was 2 suitcases, that's it. I graduated from MBA in Kennesaw State. Then I had a difficulty to find a job because I have a master's degree, but I didn't have any job experience here. So it was very challenging, and then I'm so glad that I got a job like 6 months later after my graduation. I told to my colleagues that they would come with me today. I told them that I'm in the role to make you guys to be a global leader, in 10 years later, or maybe less than that, so that's my goal, so yeah, again, I really happy to have intern from Kennesaw State. And then Dr. Gao, me and Dr. Gao been working together for the internship, I don't know, last 5 years or so?
Yes.
Am I right? Yeah, so Dr. Gao is also inspired me that one day, before I accept the intern from Kennesaw State, she know how hard I work every day and night. All my kids are grown, so my time is my time, so I work hard day and night. And then Dr. Gao said, Chico, you have to slow down. But how? Then she said, I'll help you. And then, you enjoy sometimes, enjoy the smell of the roses. And they said, I don't know what is that. But now, this is my 4th year to have interns. You know what? Now I have time, a little bit, time to enjoy the smell of roses. So thank you so much, Dr. Gao.
We send capable KSU students to Japanese companies so that these mentors can have some moments to smell the roses and have a break.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for having me. My name is Yoshi Domoto. I'm the Executive Director of the Japan America Society of Georgia. We're a nonprofit organization, basically brings together the Japanese and American communities here in Georgia. We do that through business, cultural exchange, educational programming, public affairs now, and then also social networking and making opportunities for Americans and Japanese and people from other countries to really build a friendship and relationship with one another. And we've really enjoyed hosting interns from Kennesaw over the years. Hopefully we can kind of discuss a lot about kind of the perks of interning at Japanese companies. But we still hear from Japanese companies that we need more talent. We need more workers. And then what I hear from young people is that I need a job. I need career opportunities. So there's a little bit of a disconnect. So hopefully this session will kind of help kind of connect those disconnects a little bit and really bring together all of you students and the Japanese business community who's really looking for very talented people to be part of their team.
Wonderful, yes. At KSU, currently we have about 50,000 students. And they are very hardworking, talented students, and they want to find a job in Georgia, mostly in Metro Atlanta area. And here's a good match. In Metro Atlanta area, there are over 600 Japanese companies have their headquarters here for the entire Western Hemisphere. If the 600 Japanese companies, each company hire 1 student, these are 600 jobs. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities, especially those students who are learning Japanese language and culture, Asian languages and culture, and you have a what they say, quick start. so I think it's very good. And Mr. Alex Gregory, Ueno-san, and Yoshi-san, they have been supervisors for my students. So I'm the instructor on record and the teacher and the coaches for Asia 3398, Asian Studies Internship. In the past few years, we've been sending students to Japanese companies, and majority of the positions are paid positions. So our students are really not only getting from the learning experience, the networking opportunities, they're also getting paid as interns. So Mr. Alex Gregory has been a supervisor. Look, we have president, CEO, and former chairman of the board himself as the supervisor for our students. This is an excellent opportunity for our students.
Yeah, I would just like to say we've had a very good experience. We're right down the road. Two of our fastening companies are in Marietta, and we've had to date, I think, about 10 KSU students as interns, 2 of whom we hired eventually. And it's been a very positive experience. I think we've had some students also from Georgia State. I was speaking to a group of MBA students down at Georgia Tech very recently, and there were 18 of them. And I asked them, they were all working, they were full-time MBA students, part-time MBA students. And I said, how did you find your job? 17 out of the 18 were interns in those companies. So for lots of reasons, from the student's perspective, it's a good way to find a job. People, if you're as good as you think you are, that's the best way to demonstrate that to a company. And they will see you, they will see your work ethic and what you're capable of doing. It's like a trial period, you know. And at the end of that, they will say, why don't you come back and work for us? So I encourage you to do that. And for the companies, of course, it's really good students, hardworking, that in our case have done a very good job for us. So thank you, Dr. Gao, for making that happen.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes. And Chico-san, do you want to talk about your experience in working with students at Nisei ASB?
Yes, to be honest, the supervisor is a work. It is a work, okay? So, but the return, the learning experience from the students, you know, intern, it's a lot. It's a, you know, I cannot just express with a word that, you know, that it's like same as raising your kids, right? That's not the that nothing like a monetary benefit, but it's a rewarding, and also it's good influence to the company environment, because you know everybody in the employee, you know, the intern is different, right? You know, co-workers sometimes it's competitive, but for intern it's not competitive, right? So everybody try to help. Hey, are you okay? Hey, what are you doing? You know that it's very good. The strong teamwork environment that an intern, just one intern come to our office, they create a good supporting environment that really is beneficial for us.
And Yoshi-san, you've been working with us several years, and Yoshi-san always require our students to write a cover letter. In the cover letter, before you write the cover letter, you need to study Japan American Society of Georgia, and what are the projects they do, what are the goals and missions, and then you align your ability and your interest with Japan American Society of Georgia, write a convincing cover letter. If you don't pass the convincing cover letter, then you won't get the opportunity, you won't even get an interview. So I think Yoshi-san, you've been tough, and very good tough.
I guess we're old school like that, right? But for the record, all of your students have passed and made it to the interview stage and did a great job and have been wonderful interns. But yeah, the internship program with KSU has really been a two-way street for us too. In that, you know, we are a nonprofit, so we have limited resources. So having interns help out at events, planning events, marketing our organization, you know, helping out with various research projects, and kind of different things that we're doing. Helping out with students that are here from Japan. You know, we really need that additional help and support for us to be successful. So it's something that's very critical to us, but at the same time, it's a way for us to also get a glimpse into the new generation. How are young people thinking? You know, what are their wants, their needs? What are they interested in the future, right? So, you know, certainly it really allows us to kind of think about what we need to do in the future, right? Because, you know, these are future leaders, and what we need to do as an organization to really cater to their needs and wants. So it's kind of always a two-way street for us, and we really enjoyed working with interns from KSU. So thank you.
Dr. Gao mentioned earlier about critical thinking, and one thing we have observed in the students is some think better than others, and you see the ones that want to do the minimal amount, which are very few. None of your students have been that way. But then you see the others who think beyond. Well, I understand you said to do it this way, but I have this idea, or could I ask you why you do it this way, or I have a better idea, we learned something in one of Dr. Gao's classes, a better way to do that. And you really get to experience that critical thinking, which is essential in the workforce today. You don't just want people who can perform, you want people who can think. I think that thing's going to come up in every question you're going to ask today.
Wonderful. And Scott, we haven't worked together before, but I think you're going to work with us and give us some positions for our students. So, Scott, can you tell us a little bit about the projects and things you do at Georgia Quick Start?
Sure, happy to. I do want to say that I came out of again, I was a teacher. I came out of an educational background and switched to a business career. And now back on the workforce training side, Georgia Quick Start is a division of the technical college system of Georgia. And so there's a huge educational component to what we do. It is not only just the technical training of how to build or make a product, but we also do things like organizational development and leadership development. We have an incredibly talented team of creatives who are technical illustrators, they're instructional designers, videographers, photographers, for putting these very customized workforce training programs together to benefit the citizens of Georgia. And my office, as Deputy Commissioner, I have a corner office in Midtown, but it's on the 4th floor, and it directly overlooks the corner of 5th Street and Spring Street. So we are on the campus of Georgia Tech, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy looking out the window every day and seeing all the students going up and down the street, going to lunch, going to their classes, and I got that same feeling coming here today, walking across your campus as well. I love the energy that you all have. You know, you're just by being here shows so much of your own personalities and your own characters. And so right now I don't have any internships available, but I did want to just give you all props for what you're doing, what you're thinking about your future. And I think you had a question, but I forgot what the question was.
Yes, so I'm going to ask the question for everyone else.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
So my question for the panelists, for all of you, is from your perspective, what are some of the key skills gaps in the industry and business that should motivate us to do better in educating Gen Z students to prepare them for employment?
I'll take a crack at that. One of the things that we do, you know, what we hear from, we form partnerships with our clients, which are our manufacturing industries here in Georgia. And one of the things that we oftentimes hear from them is the soft skills. They, at this point in time, are looking for people who will show up on time, who will be dressed appropriately, and who will be courteous and respectful to their colleagues. That's kind of the baseline that they're looking for. That's if you have those skills right there, then you will be very, very well set for these companies to begin to train you, for there to be pathways of career development within those companies. What we do at Georgia Quick Start, we specialize in taking someone who has never manufactured a product, never worked in a factory, and within a 2 to 3 week program, they are then on the factory floor actually producing product for that company. And that's why we're called Quick Start. We help companies get up and running very quickly when they first come here to Georgia. And so for us, you know, the skills gap that we're seeing is really on the technical training side, of course. But you don't necessarily need to be, for example, an engineer to get a job starting out with one of these manufacturing companies. There are so many companies now coming to Georgia. Georgia Quick Start is training literally tens of thousands of Georgia citizens every year at no cost to the company or to the citizens. This is all taxpayer dollars. We actually take our taxpayer money and reinvest it right back into the people of Georgia to give them better skills, to help the company be more successful. They can hire more people, and that's kind of the value proposition that we offer.
Wonderful, wonderful. So any other additional comments about the gaps in the training that we should do more?
Yes, I have. I feel that same as me, like when I graduated from MBA, I have knowledge that I can use for the business. Right? I have knowledge, skills, information, that everything that I have in my head apply to the job, but I didn't know how to apply my knowledge into the actual work. My engineers, they graduate from Kennesaw State engineering degree. They don't have any experience, but they know how to machine works in theory, right? You know, technically they know how they can use their knowledge into machine, but when it comes to the actual work, we never ever experience the same problem with the machine. Sometimes they have to listen to the sound of the machine make. Same as my job. I'm HR, I'm certified HR, but I never ever face the same problem every day. So I have knowledge, but I also have the skill, my knowledge into my actual lifetime problems. So I know that the younger the generation, they're more high tech than me. I'm very low tech, but we can help each other. Tell me how the technology works, what's going on, but also our generation that with the experience, we tell you what to do for a reason because we have experience. So the gap is some students, oh, that's so old-fashioned. No, that's not gonna work. That's not how we do it. Okay, step back. Think about it. I know what you know, but we have experience. So listen sometimes just to somebody who has experience, and then ask us why. Why you think that's the way you think it's working better than mine? Just ask questions. Then you learn from that.
Yeah, I would add, Scott and Sachiko talked about the soft skills and all, which is so important. I retired in 2018. My timing was perfect because COVID came right after that. I have no idea as a leader how I would have dealt with that very difficult situation. It's been interesting to me. Our fastening business and architectural business are completely separated and run separately with different leaders. And Ray and his team, their offices are downtown, the headquarters, and they chose to work every day. They said, through COVID, we're going to come to work every day. The fastening business chose to go with a hybrid model. So I've been able to sort of compare the two. But one of my most popular themes is corporate culture. And I know one thing I've been told about the current generation is they're very purpose-driven, and they want to know why a company exists and what it's trying to do. And so I feel very fortunate, we feel very fortunate at YKK and at YKKAP that we are very purpose-driven, and we're able to explain that. And I hope our employees can see it. But my advice to the students is to think about all these things in advance so that you can match up your culture with a company's culture. I mean, if life balance is very important to you, you better find a company that values that. Some don't. Some are very results oriented, and they don't care what you do as long as you get the results. I don't like those kinds of companies, but they're out there, and sometimes you can make a lot of money working for one of them. But you need to think about these things and get that aligned even before you go in for the interview. And then when you go in for the interview, I think it's a two-way street. They're interviewing you, but you're interviewing them as well. So you need to seek some of these things out and find out what you're getting yourself into. Bottom line, it's not just starting salary. That's not what you're out for. You're looking to find your corporate home, a place that you feel appreciated and valued. And that needs to be your goal, more than a starting salary that may be higher than any other.
Perfect. Yoshi-san?
I don't want to echo the other panelists too much, but yeah, the soft skills are critical. Intercultural communication, global communication skills, being able to adapt to new situations. I guess nowadays digital literacy too. But all of those, if you can match that with any hard skills that you have, I think the sky's the limit. But the only gap maybe that I see is maybe young people or students' mentality in that out of the 600 plus Japanese affiliated companies, many of them are manufacturing. So I think there's sort of a disconnect where young people, students say, oh, manufacturing companies, I can only work there if I'm an engineer or if I know IT or if I can do maintenance. Not the case. I mean, they're a company, a business, just like any other business, so they have a human resources, HR department, marketing, accounting, right? So even if you may have kind of preconceived notions about manufacturing, that nowadays manufacturing companies are one of the most advanced businesses in the world, especially here in Georgia, as Scott can kind of probably more share about it, and also Alex, and also Ueno-san too. But yeah, so the mentality is keep your options open, be flexible. Just because you see a manufacturing company looking for a position, a lot of Japanese companies, they want the right people who want to learn, who are outgoing, but also want to strive for excellence. If you're fit their mold, they will train you. They will give you all the hard skills. So don't be afraid to apply to kind of new opportunities. Just because that maybe I don't fit in with the manufacturing environment, because manufacturing is very different from what I think our parents grew up with or our grandparents grew up with, right? So be open, be outgoing, try new things. I think that's maybe the only disconnect or maybe a gap in students and young people's mentality.
I'm so glad Yoshi said that, and I would enlist the support of the people at Economic Development in helping to make manufacturing sexy again. There are a lot of students that really are not interested in manufacturing, and I think it offers a lot of opportunity. And then the last thing I would say is, yeah, I'm all for all the changes and everybody feeling good about life and everything else, but there's an opportunity for a student right now. If you're willing to work hard and take on new responsibility and not really care so much about salary and job title and all that, but just want to contribute and be an important, indispensable member of some team, you will do well. Corporate America is very hungry for you right now. So if you show up every day, become indispensable, you will do well. I guarantee it.
Perfect. The next question is about technology. So at this moment when we are here in Paris, there is an Artificial Intelligence Summit. Don't think artificial intelligence far away from us. In fact, we all use it. When you type, there's the spelling check. There's on your cell phone, autocorrect. That's all artificial intelligence. And so, what are some of the emerging technologies impacting the future workforce, including artificial intelligence and social media? How can students cope with these changes and challenges at your organization if they want to work for your company?
There's always this question that you see on these panels, especially when they're interviewing business leaders. They say, what keeps you up at night? What keeps you up at night? And I'll give you 3 things that keep me up at night, because I'm a liberal arts major from Emory University, overseeing a technical workforce training organization. The first word is robots. Robots are becoming ubiquitous throughout manufacturing. It is incredible what these robots are doing and what the people who are utilizing these robots are doing. Second word is AI. And then the third word is VR. So a lot of companies are asking us, please, can you use virtual reality in your training? And that's something that technology has not really been perfected yet when it comes to applying it to a training environment. So my organization, QuickStart, is just getting started and learning how we can adapt virtual reality technology to workforce training. Same with AI. AI, of course, we all read about how it's going to be Skynet, the world's going to end with AI becoming self-cognizant and all that kind of stuff. But for someone who is being asked a lot about it by companies and by the team, my team itself, Scott, how are we going to use AI in our organization? Every time I open the newspaper, but that dates me. Every time I read about AI, it just seems to keep jumping and jumping ahead and jumping ahead. And we're really scrambling very hard to keep up with that, both from an internal, how do we use it as an organization, also learning about how do our clients use that AI. And so these new technologies keep me up at night. We are working with, you may have heard the Hyundai Motor Group outside of Savannah. They're building an enormous electric vehicle manufacturing plant down there. We're training all of their people there, literally thousands of jobs being created there. And for that particular project, the technology that they're implementing inside the factory is something that we have to learn and then mimic in our training, so that the trainees will have the experience on a smaller basis of that type of technology, so when they actually get to the factory floor, they're not intimidated. They know how to work with a robot. They know that the automated guided vehicle is going to be going beep, 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 coming up behind them to give them a part that they need, things of that nature. And so there's enormous disruption right now in manufacturing. But it's also it's kind of becoming a golden age as well of manufacturing. And you all are so perfectly positioned to take advantage of that, of those types of environments. You're young, you're eager to learn, your brains are still soft, if you will. I think ours kind of, they get real hard after a while. I always, one of my sayings is, if you ain't learning, you ain't living. And that's one of the things that in our industry is great. Every single day I'm learning new things. And you all, again, are very well positioned to take advantage of all these disruptions that are going on because of technology.
I would just add to that, the YKK companies, everyone's talking about AI as a tool. What can we do to incorporate this into our enterprise resource planning and our business methods? It's everywhere, and how can we utilize this tool? But when I talked with my former colleagues about it, they said, but please remind the students especially that it's just a tool. You still need to be able to use that tool and utilize that tool. We're finding, I think, that the company can get an understanding of AI, but then trying to disseminate that information and to disseminate those tools throughout the organization is really difficult. It's difficult to get people to utilize these, like writing a cover letter. We'll just run it through. Let Gemini see what it can do with it. And yet, I would say a majority of people don't do that, don't know how to do that, don't care to know how to do that. So it's trying to get people to do it, and then when you get the final product, to be able to think critically and use it properly is the challenge.
My company just started an AI project. I went to AI conference in San Francisco last September. It was interesting because, of course, San Francisco, that's ahead of us, right? So what was interesting is, of course, I'm HR, then I'm more like a legal side, the more infrastructure. But the argument in one of the session that I participate, the IT professional, they want to do more and more, faster, and then the city of San Francisco, the California government, the law registration, they said, no, we're not there yet. We have to create the law first. So they got some argument, that's interest. We just okay, it's about time to go bathroom, but they just keep going. So it's very interesting, but it's this actual, it applied to the workplace too. We have an AI project. We want to start it today, but we have to make a policy procedure. What's the law in Georgia? And then how about the training for the employee? My employee ready for AI? We already use AI, the personal level. For the business level, we have to take a risk. Maybe we're gonna expose our information, confidential information to the public. I have to protect the company, right? So yeah, it's more like it's not like easy to proceed, So yeah, so like I really appreciate also younger generations voice that they more into the technology and share, and then we work together. So yeah, that's very exciting, and then IT the team and the younger generation really excited about the project. So I went to the career fair the other day, at a college. So a lot of information system, the major, just out there. So I talked to, they're waiting for, their turn to talk to, one of the booths, and that was in front of me. So I just said, hey, are you interested in an AI project for the summer intern? And everybody just come to my booth, like, yes, 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 yes. So that's how, the younger generation likes the AI project. But yeah, so they have to know that there's a, the other side, that we have to be ready for that, the legal and then the risk perspective.
Just very quickly, as Scott mentioned, new technology is really reshaping workforce, so be ready for it, be resilient, be a lifelong learner for these new technologies, whether it's AI or things happening with social media, or just be a lifelong learner in that there's a lot of resources, I'm sure, here at Kennesaw, even outside of these companies, there might be resources, there might be classes you can take. So as much as you can, if you can be in front of the trend, I think that will go a long way. But at the same time, for the ability to kind of be flexible and adapt to these new kind of disruptive technologies, I think it will put yourself in a really in a great position when you go into the workforce, right? So, but as Alex mentioned, please use AI and these new technologies ethically. Don't write your cover letter using AI. We want to meet you as a person, not the robot in you, right? So, and even we're actually right now recruiting middle school students to go to Japan for our summer program, and we're reviewing these applications. And I have to talk to our chaperone here, but some of our middle school students might be using AI to write an essay about why they want to go to Japan. So please use new technologies ethically. There's certain things that robots can do, as keep Scott awake at night. But as us humans, I think we can bring so much more. So, being with the times and try to be ahead of the trend and be flexible, whatever comes our way in the future.
Yoshi mentioned social media, and I will just say, with the good comes the bad, and anyone can ruin your company's brand overnight through social media. It's such a challenge. So there's always that, and then there's also the cybersecurity, which is affecting all of our companies, and my guess, all of your companies too, in terms of trying to educate your people not to click on certain things and everything that goes into that. It's just a real threat and a real risk, and it will shut you down. And been there, done that.
Yeah, so I have been in the past few years, I've been doing research on intergenerational communication. In an organization, there are very easily several generations working together. And so our students, they mostly belong to the Gen Z generation, and after Gen Z will be Generation Alpha. So they are digital natives. They grew up with cell phones. When they cry, the parents give them a cell phone, give them iPhone, take care, you can figure the things out. So they grew up with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and maybe Facebook too old for them, they don't like Facebook. But they have various different kind of social media apps they're very good at. Like, if you want to talk with a Japanese person, you need to download the Line, right? If you want to talk with a Chinese person, WeChat. And if you're talking with millennials, maybe Instagram. So we are all, based on our age and our cultural background, we are kind of in different digital rooms. So our students, when I ask them to give me their resume or overview their skills, they put down all these social media apps that they're good at, and it's very interesting because for them, that's a real skill. And and when you watch TV, there are big commercials, right? And companies spend millions to promote their brand. But what if the Gen Z, not what if, I know, the Gen Z, they probably don't watch TV. So you spend millions showing your ad in the TV, you're not you're not engaging with your potential clients. You need to meet Gen Z where they are. They're on the iPhone, they're on the Android, so they're in the social media. So you need to promote your brand in the social media. So I wonder, how many Japanese companies are doing that? Any thoughts?
Are we Ray? We are. Ray says we are.
So we have a few minutes. We'll open up for questions, Q&A with the audience. And we have 2 microphones, one for this side, one for that side, and Patrick. So, Patrick and my student, Maggie Meyer, will run around without the high heels, so they will get your questions.
Not really a question, but something I want to address just with Scott, and mostly to the students. Tom Taylor used to be a state legislator working in economic development all over the state, looking at companies to basically fill up with employees. Gulfstream, Lockheed, all of them are begging for employees. Everything, all being equal, they have to turn away 40% of the people they interviewed for one thing, drug tests. And that's really important to put out there. Say, oh, it's just dope. Not if you're building airplanes, and that's a deal killer for a lot of these things. I just want to put that out there for the students.
Okay, make sure you're drug-free on the resume. Who is ready to ask a question?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello,
Stand up, please. Thank you.
Hello, name's Angel. May I have a question for you? I want to talk to or ask about the Asian Studies internship class. Is that only open for Asian Studies majors, or is that open for everybody?
Okay, so the Asian Studies internship course is open to Asian Studies major, Asian Studies minor, which means non-Asian Studies major, anyone studying Japanese, Chinese, Korean, or anyone with interest in Asian cultures. Yes, it's pretty much open to everyone. A KSU student only.
Hi, I just want to ask a general question regarding people's attitudes towards body modifications in this field, because that's something that I do have a lot of. What are these companies' opinions and attitudes towards people who have body modifications?
Okay, I can take a quick crack on it. So, body piercing, are we talking about body piercing or tattoos?
Just anything, yes. Tattoos, piercings, facial piercings.
Yes. So I've been, in the past few years, I've been coaching and connecting with companies for internship positions, right? So any tattoos or body piercing on the face is undesirable, because you will not be a good ambassador for the company brand and the company business. So if you have tattoo or piercing at unseen areas in your body, then we don't want to know about it. Okay, so I think that's fine. Just don't do anything on your face or your hands, Yeah. Yes.
Me personally as a HR, I'm open, but for example, our sales department have to meet the customer that we cannot control, right? So if the customer is kind of offended by the body piercing or tattooed, unfortunately, they're our customer. We have to adjust. But on the other side, I've been doing my HR role for the last 20 years. I see a lot of changes, even HR world 20 years ago. It's like a majority woman, old, experienced woman, That was the majority 20 years ago. Last 5 years, more men, body piercing, tattoos, different hair color. Am I in the HR conference? The company spent $1,000 for me to participate, including registration, the travel. But the world is changing because you know what? Those are the decision maker. And then our customer side, the decision maker will be changing. So change is coming, but it's kind of slow. Like I said, 20 years that I see changes. So change is coming, but it's still not there yet. That's how I feel.
I do know that in the manufacturing environment, when you go out on the factory floor, oftentimes you cannot wear even a ring because it may get caught in the machinery, it may scratch a product. Earrings, even belts, a lot of times they'll give you a cover for your belt so you don't accidentally scrape it up against one of the products or something like that. So, and again, hair, you know, if you're working with machinery, you have to put your hair up. A lot of times you have to wear hair coverings if you're in a clean room environment. There are a lot of, just depending on the nature of the work, there are different rules for different companies.
Yes, please. We have some more questions.
On this side.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I just had one question with more on the AI side. I had more of the questions of why are you guys willing to integrate it more? Specifically, why the reason I'm asking this is because I feel like personally that technology isn't like ready in many aspects, especially with the training models that it has to go through. So like, and right now it's basically the Wild West right there, and you essentially have to put in like, it gets information from data from the internet. And I feel like eventually in the future, a lot of companies don't want their data being given to or being fed to that information, and they'll put restrictions on it. And then what if it's wrong information as well? And what I'm also afraid of for like future companies is that a lot of employees would no longer start thinking for themselves or let the AI think, and then it no longer would be, well, a good use. Well, at least personally for me, I feel like AI could be a tool as a thinking partner, really, more than rather to like fully integrate it as just like for employees to think for themselves, because I see it a lot because I had a conversation with one of my professors who works for like tech for schools, and she was saying that that a lot of new AI models they're making or trying to use is to help their students think and not think for them. It's more of a thinking partner. And at least in the social media side, I have been seeing trends where a lot of AI is being used for algorithms, and the algorithms essentially are just messing up ways of thinking. And when you said your company could be ruined overnight, what I was thinking of when you said that was when like certain times when like the algorithm puts you next to or shows tweets of what people already think, and people can already more likely hate the company more because it just groups people together. It's creating more of an echo chamber of people of hatred, and I see that consistently. And a lot of like new trends as well, like marketing wise, like a lot of the people like for Spotify, they recently like had lay off some people who made Spotify Rap, which is a very popular in like trend that happens like every year. But they let AI do it, and everybody complained that AI didn't really help. It was actually one of the worst Spotify Raps created recently, and I think a lot of people did. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
It wasn't disappointing.
Yeah, it didn't feel personal. So I feel like they let the AI take over and thinking that it would be successful, but it didn't understand like the AI still doesn't understand human emotions or human intentions. And I feel like the teacher also told me, I forgot her name. I forgot my professor's name, but she about what we were talking about, at least like school-wise, is that they were thinking of using this technology to teach like students or make like formats for students to learn. But one of my arguments was whether we should use it, because then it's going to lose that personal touch of using a teacher's own intuition or human attributes to teach students, to better use what they know of their students to teach them, because then eventually it will kind of be just whatever the AI thinks.
Yeah, we partner with our clients on these manufacturing projects, and for us to train someone to make a product, we have to know from the company how they make the product. So we get into some very, very proprietary areas with companies on intellectual property and things like that. So we sign, Georgia Quickstep signs a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA with the company saying we will not leak any of these proprietary secrets out. So we have a big concern with using AI for all of the reasons that you were talking about, where things can get out of control and get out of our control. You know, if we have a piece of proprietary information that gets leaked to one of our clients' competitors, well, that has never happened for Quick Start. We began in 1967. Have never had that happen once, and we are very proud of that record. And so, again, AI, I think this is something that we're all we're walking slow while it's running fast, but we're trying to really wrap our arms around it. But that's our experience with it.
So we have questions, just one quick question, okay? Dr. Lee, did you have a question?
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Lei Li. I'm the Associate Dean for Student Success at the College of Computing and Software Engineering. So speaking of AI, I think I'm obligated to say something. My message is very simple. If you do not know, not sure about your enemy, join them. Please be aware that our college, we do offer a Master of AI. We started last fall. Right now we have over 100 students in the program, so just half a year. The other things, I'm just seamlessly plugging in some of our colleges doing, and when we talk, I heard the panel of Scott talking about VR training, and actually there's also area of our expertise. We have several faculty, they are expert in virtual reality, augmented reality. They have done several industrial projects, working with the companies, doing those virtual trainings. I think one is for the railway, another couple of others, I cannot remember exactly the project. And cybersecurity is also an area of our expertise. In generally, we offer 2 PhD, 6 master, 6 bachelor programs, all in the area of computing. And we have 2 research centers, Center for Applied Computing, Center for Data Science and Analytics. So those 2 centers are actively working with the company for your computing innovation need. I think I'd like to ask you a question on behalf of the student here at the end. We often heard about job. We often heard about career. So what's your take? How those 2 are different?
Job versus career.
Yes.
And this is the last question because we're running out of time. Adrian is looking at me, so I'm afraid.
To me, the career definition of a career is this: if you really enjoy what you do, you make an effort, but you don't feel like you're making an effort. But what you do, enjoy what you do, and then that other people appreciate. That's a career that I believe. The job is just producing the output. That's it. But what you do with emphasis, enjoyment, excitement, and you make an effort that I feel I work day and night, but I don't feel like I'm making an effort because I enjoy what I do. And then people appreciate what I do. Not everybody, but I know I'm EHR, so, but I know some people appreciate what I do, and that's my career. That's the definition of my career.
Perfect, thank you. I enjoy being a professor at Kennesaw State University for you all. That is my career. Thank you. And thank you for our wonderful